Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to slay this wig from start to finish. Okay. So if you'd like to find out how I achieved this look, y'all, then keep on watching. Oh, and if you're new here, thanks for coming through. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit subscribe to join the tribe. So let's get into it. Okay, so I got a lot of questions about how I would color bundles if I didn't put them in a wig first. So this is what I usually would do. I put some plastic down on the ground, garbage bag, tape it down with some tape, and I work from there. But I will say I do ideally like making the wig first. But this is just to show you guys what I would do, just because I got a couple questions. So I'm going to be using hair from herhaircompany.com, and I'm using two 10-inch bundles with a 14-inch lace frontal. So first up, I am just bleaching the ends with 30 volume developer. So I'm going from mid shaft to end of the bundles, and I'm going to let that part process for about 25 minutes before continuing the rest of it. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want the ends to be lighter than the roots. So I'm letting them process for a different amount of time. When I first started doing this, I thought I wanted to do like a really cute ginger kind of color. That's what I thought I wanted, and then halfway through I changed my mind. But we'll talk about that again later. So as you can see, after processing it for 20 to 25 minutes, the ends are definitely a lot lighter. So now it's time to move on to the root section. And I'm also applying 30 volume here, but I'm not going to let it process as long. So when you're doing this, just make sure everything is nice and saturated. So I'm applying that 30 volume all across the top of the weft, flipping it over, making sure everything is nice and covered, and then I'm going to take my big tooth comb everything through, and let this process for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now moving on to the frontal, I'm bleaching those knots, of course. I've showed you guys this a million times, so we won't spend too much time on that. Then after everything was colored, I did not color the ends of the frontal yet because I want to do it on the mannequin head, y'all. I am a stylist, an actual hairstylist who loves working on actual people's heads. So for me, I like to envision and see where I want to place my color. So for those of you that have been here for a while, then you know this is kind of like my signature thing. The back combing, starting in the front section, and then working my way onto the sides so that it's a little bit lighter around the face, and it helps to frame your face as well as lets the color be nice and transitional because of the back combing. So as I mentioned before, when I first started doing this look, I thought I wanted like a really gingery color, and then I changed my mind halfway through. I was like, nah, forget it. Let's do blonde. Especially because of how beautifully the frontal bleached. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go back and let's lighten the bundles a little bit more. So I only had to processed the frontal only once, but I did bleach the bundles twice. And because the roots were already lightened, I didn't need to re-bleach the roots, so I really just focused the second bleaching process on the ends. So after everything was pre-lightened, it was time to build this bad boy into a wig. So I lined up my frontal from ear to ear with the flap sticking out in the front, not lined up with the cap. As you can see there's like a little flap hanging over. And once that was locked and loaded, I moved on to the back. Now for this, I did not double any of the wefts. I did the fold over method, but like I said, I didn't double anything because it's a bob. I don't want it to be too thick, too big, too puffy, whereas this hair definitely has enough body in it already, which I really like, which is also why I went with a body wave. So you really don't need more than a bundle and a half. 2 bundles max. Like I didn't even use the full 2 bundles. So after I was done constructing the wig, it was time to tone. And the only toner I actually had in my house at the moment was the T18. So I was like, okay, let's just give this one a shot. To be honest, I hated it. It wasn't strong enough, wasn't what I wanted. This is the results of what it looked like after the T18. So I had to go out to the closest place and I ended up going with drugstore color, which I never do, y'all. Anyways, I used the Revlon 50 and 41, which was like a light ash brown mixed with a medium brown, but both of them were on the cooler side. So I mixed half and half of each and I focused at the roots first. And after I let the roots process for about 15-20 minutes, I took my brush and I combed everything down. So I'm basically taking that same toner and running it through on the ends. And I let that sit for about 5 minutes all over the ends just to cut a bit of the brassiness and just give me like a nice sandy kind of blonde. After I washed that out, I tweezed the hairline a bit and I set her. And I've shown you guys how I like to set the hairlines in many of my videos. But the Rihanna one was the most recent, so you guys can check that one out. And the beauty of getting 2 10-inch bundles and a 14-inch frontal is that the cutting, you really don't need to do much. So really what I did was just take off those like straggly ends at the bottom and kind of even her out a bit with my scissors and the razor comb. Then it's time to throw her on, and y'all, I will be honest with you, okay? I did not gel her down or anything. I was being hella lazy with keeping it on because I didn't want to use any product. So I didn't gel her down. I just kind of solidified the baby hairs a bit in this area here. And then it was time to use, of course, the foam because I needed to like make sure she was nice and flat at the top. And then I blow dried her out and used my wand to curl her up. Then it was time to let her cool, change my clothes, and brush her out. And this is the finished look. It's up to you how much volume you like to give it, or body, or whatnot. But I was going for a tousled, voluminous, free-flowing, wavy, slightly curled look. If that makes sense. Alright guys, let me know what you think. Comment below. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Namaste!
Whispered that she don't drink, said the sheet rolling. Hope I don't think that just that we smoke that I'm gon' hit. I'm like, what you think, so think what you want. She had me a thing.